We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast. And we have an amazing guest today. I want everyone that is a podcast host to just introduce themselves and then we'll introduce our guest. Okay. Go ahead, Wumi. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, it's good to be back here. Hello, my name is Wumi Peters. I'm from Nigeria and SPI College of ICT, and I have a lot of beautiful projects ahead, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, Maria.
Um, I'm Maria Butcher and I'm from the UK, and I'm really delighted to be here on this podcast today. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And let's see, Susie.
Hello, I'm Susie. I'm the CEO and founder of iCode Expo, which is all about enhancing agriculture through ICT, and we're all about the youth and the women in agriculture and in the world, I think. So, thank you.
Wonderful. And Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jackie Zaccoli. I am mostly realistically in Arizona, United States. However, my mind and soul are in Africa and the rest of the world to be able to bring sustainability and increase love, prosperity, and peace.
Wonderful. And Megan.
Hi everyone, Megan here from Cape Town, South Africa. I am the founder of Paradox Rocks Communications, and my space is the youth space and also literacy, global literacy. Thanks very much. Glad to be here.
Awesome. And Maria.
Okay, I get a second chance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call on you already? I'm sorry. That's fine.
That's all right, because I didn't say much the first time.
Well, go ahead.
And just like to say that I'm very involved with Carol with YEA, Young Entrepreneurs Alliance, and very, very interested in sustainability and especially empowerment of women in my generation. So among the older generation, let's hear from the grandmothers, let them be part of what we're doing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You are
Carol,
like
I
it.
forgot to say where I'm from.
Yes, go ahead, Susie.
I am actually based in the US at Kentucky, but I'm from Cameroon. So, thank you.
Wonderful. And I'm Carol Witt, and I am the founder and the director of YEA Global Young Entrepreneurs Alliance. And this is our podcast. So we are going to bring our guest on, Renata Anderson, and she's going to tell us a very inspiring story. So Renata, come join us.
Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you, Megan, Susie, Maria, and Jackie. So it's so good. Oh, and Omni. So it's so good to be here with you, just share my story. So my name is Renata Anderson, but my first name that comes from my father was Renata Silva, and Renata means reborn, and Silva means forest. So my name is reborn from the forest. And I was born in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil, and raised in São Paulo. São Paulo, for those who don't know, it's a big, huge city with a lot of tall buildings, bridges, and it's we call that the concrete jungle. And when I was 15, I started to have dreams, and I was in the forest. And I was like, wow, waking up, like missing the forest, missing the smell of the forest, of the rain, missing to be inside the forest. And I was like, how can I miss something that I don't know? And my parents were very urban people. They like to go to the beach, but not, inside the forest. And I did my training in nursing in the college, And after that, I started to do residence in pediatrics. So I was studying, how to take care of kids. And the experience in the hospital was not for me. I was like feeling outside of my environment. And then I decided to go to Amazon and work with indigenous communities. And that was in the 2000s. So it was a huge change in my life, in my perception, because when I arrived there, it was like I was jumping inside a movie. It was completely different from my reality. I was living in the border of Colombia and Venezuela and Brazil, and that was in 2000. We didn't have any internet, any connection. So I just went to the river, up to the river, like 2 days, and started to sleep every day in a different tribe, in a different village, taking care of the people and going to their houses. At that time, I was the first non-indigenous person that they ever saw. So it was very interesting. So it was when it started to have a shift in my mindset and learn different cosmovision and how they see death, how they see disease and everything. So at that time I was like, oh, the things I learned from college was not enough to understand what happened there. And because I was like, oh, there's something going on here that I don't get it, but it's still going on. So I came back to São Paulo and did my master's in uh, hospital administration and health system. When I finished that, I was ready to go back to the jungle. So I came back and stayed for another year in another part of Amazon, this time in the border of Suriname. And I started to learn again a lot of new things, and that was very interesting. So after that, I decided to come back again to São Paulo to do my master's. And my master's was in environmental and health. And my research was about health system in indigenous communities in Amazon. So that time I realized that how culture and logistics was key to deliver a good health to that people. And after finishing my master's, I was invited to join Doctors Without Borders. And for people that don't know how it works, they have a mission and they invite you. And so you don't choose. So I went to Congo, and the Congo is the second biggest rainforest in the world. So I lived inside of the jungle again, and it was a gorilla park, and it was beautiful, even if it was during the war. So at that time I was responsible for the hospital administration, supply, pharmacy, training the team, everything. And I was also responsible for the sexual violence program. So I saw more than 150 women that was raped. And rape in this kind of places, it's like a weapon of war. So they destroy the woman to destroy the families, to destroy the society. So we know that women are the pillar of the society because we are the pillars of the families. And so it was a very that work really touched me, because during that time I never saw any woman crying, and that really hurt me. I say, why they don't cry? Why they don't cry? Telling me what happened with them. So, and then I realized that they don't cry because nobody listened. So they stop to complain because nobody cares. And that was what really hurt me. So how, you know, people think they are not allowed to cry. So this is huge. And then I came back to Brazil again, and I was invited to go to Niger. This time was completely different environment. I was used to work in the forest. That time I was in the desert. So the desert taught me a lot of beautiful things too. You know, the lack of the green. Oh my goodness. And when I saw green again, I started to cry after 9 months in the desert. So there I was able to work with kids from 0 to 5 years old with a beautiful project. It was a nutritional crisis year. And again, I learned so much because it was a Muslim country. I didn't have any contact before with Muslim communities, and I learned so many beautiful things. And after that, I went to Mozambique, and I was invited to do a Doctors Without Border mission as a head of the mission in Amazon again, this time working with the people coming from Haiti. So they were kind of refugees, environmental refugees. So they were coming to my country that time. And Brazil was not prepared to deal with refugees. So the president in that time was President Dilma. She asked help from Doctors Without Borders. She said, "Oh, we are not used to have refugees, but we know that an organization that work with that is Doctors Without Borders." So it was a beautiful achievement that we have in that place too. So when I come back to São Paulo after that, I started my PhD in environmental health again, and I did my research about collaboration. And so, because for me, it was key to understand that with the rise of natural, that we know that is not natural disasters, but that it's almost impossible for one organization or one government take care of everything that happens in a huge accident or disaster. So the collaboration turns key. And normally the civil society is the first one to deal with the disasters. So that's my idea, to build resilience around communities for them to deal with the threats that are coming. And during my PhD, everything was good. That was great. I was doing a lot of research. This was doing really well. And suddenly I have a diagnosis with breast cancer. So I had to stop everything. And the fight started. The fight with the doctors, because they want me to quit the PhD, because it says, oh, that's very stressful. And you cannot be more stressed than you already are with the treatment. And I was like, wait a minute, if I'm going to die, it doesn't matter if I am a PhD. So it doesn't matter. But if I'm going to survive, I think that can be useful for my life. So I was like, the doctors was already taking care of all my life. I was like, no, this is my decision, and I'm going to continue. And during the chemo, for those who had chemo, it's a very reflexive moment that we think, okay, if I die during this treatment, what will happen? So I was pretty much okay with that, and I was like, because I did this. I did a lot of things in my life, and I was 39 during the treatment, and I was like, but that was one thing that I didn't experience in my life. It was love. I have romances in my life, nice guys that I was always like, oh, I love you so much. It's so great to be with you. but I have to leave. It's an airplane waiting for me. And I was always leaving, always. So, and that time I was like, oh, I never met love. And after my third surgery, I met my husband a month after that. And he was from Indiana. He was living in Cincinnati. I was in Brazil. We met online. And he asked me, oh, what a woman from Brazil went with a guy from Cincinnati. I was like, wow, we never know, huh? And I told him, I am a free bird. I can go wherever, and it's no borders for me. And I come to the US, we get married, and it was beautiful. So I got married when I was 43. So for those who don't have the hope to find someone after a certain age, so everything is possible. And after 2 years and 3 months, Shane committed a suicide. And that time I was, because the cancer, I lost my mind. I couldn't read. It was difficult to study. It was because all my energy was focused on the treatment. But when I lost my husband, I lost my connection with my soul. I was in a completely dark place, and I was like, how I'm going to survive to that, because the only thing during my chemo, balance, I was like, well, everything, all my dreams was checked, but love. And now, that he gone, I was like, oh, I have no dreams anymore. And how I'm going to survive. And I have a PhD. I speak 4 languages. I lived in 6 countries. I had the green card, but I didn't have any energy to go back and work. I didn't want to do anything. It was even hard for me to breathe. I spent 10 days in the hospital with severe asthma because, in some way, my brain was telling to my lungs, stop breathing, stop breathing. You know, and it was a fight again in the hospital because the doctor said, oh, it's your cats. I say, it's not my cats. I know my life. It's because I'm grieving. And it was like, oh, there's nothing related with asthma and grieving. Can you imagine that? Huh? And we know how deep is this connection. So I say, okay, I think I'm just going to survive that if I reconnect to myself and I become someone able to dream again, because I was always a dreamer. And so it was step by step. So my dream was stay with my pets. I have 3 cats and a dog. That was my dream in that time. Can you imagine for someone that dream big? So this was my dream. And then I say, okay, what else? Oh, my dream is maybe move to Portland. So I come to the forest in the United States. So now from my window, I can see the forest park. It's the biggest forest in a city in the United States. So I come back to my environmental again, to be in the forest. And today, I'm working with planetary health. That was also a kind of a dream. And after taughting MBA courses in sustainability for more than 10 years and seeing all the effort and money that companies are putting on that, and we see that planet is even worse. So I was like, what are we doing? Maybe we need to change the perspective. And that's when I met Planetary Health. That comes with solutions. And today my lemma is we have to heal the people to heal the planet, because we need better questions, for solutions to in our planet. And we are just going to have better questions if we raise our energy together and if we build that together. So that's why today I become a life coach, and I call myself a planetary health coach because that's really what I believe, that we don't heal the people that are traumatized, and we all have our own trauma. We are not going to achieve to heal the planet. So this is my message, and I'm really open to the
Wow.
questions.
Wow, Renata. Oh my gosh. There were so many spaces where I could absolutely like just burst out in tears in your story. And I knew a little bit of it, but I didn't know hardly any
Mm.
of it. Um, First of all, so I have a question for you, and I'm sure our other hosts have questions, but I have a question for you. And my question is this, mm, you know, I get your life changed when your husband passed. Like you
Mhm.
had a whole life planned and it changed. And then you took on just what you could take on to put yourself back into life. I get that. So I have a question for you. So now where you are and the things that you're up to and doing, what is the thing you want to do? That is like the biggest thing for you that you want to accomplish before you uh, are no longer on the planet? What is it that you would want to do?
I would love to see more connections around the world because, traveling and living other cultures and experience, I can assure you that we are more similar than different. And that's the beauty about that. And when we get together and open our heart to listen, not just our ears, but our heart, magical comes, through that. So this is my mission, my purpose is connect and put people together, and I always joke like it's introduce planet A to planet B and vice versa,
Mm,
because people from different realities, they have no idea there's other ways to live and see life.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I am so happy you are on this planet. We are in better hands because of it. So thank you. All right, Maria, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, Renata, thank you so much for sharing your story. Wow, incredible. And there were moments when I also kind of connected because I won't go into the whole story, but I'm in touch with Aboriginal people in Australia, and that's been my connection, with the Indigenous people. And I've just come across, actually through Christy in YEA, about the 13 grandmothers. Are you aware of the 13 grandmothers who went around the earth?
Not yet.
Literally.
No, no,
You're not. I'm going to share the website with you because it's
lovely.
inspiring. And I just think we need to come together. Your idea of this planetary healing, I think we just need so much to have all the truths that are available from beyond the ages, from
Yeah,
way back. And I love your connection to the forest and everything. Thank you so much. I want to connect with you directly and I'll
sure.
be in touch and just amazing. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, Megan, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Renata. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful life story with us. It's really difficult to look at someone, meet someone, and to know exactly what's going on in their lives, right? And to be able to expect what their story is about. But thank you very much. And I too am very glad that you are still here and doing what you do. I must just comment on the heal the people to heal the planet that you mentioned earlier, because uh, I grew up similar to you in the forest, but me playing in the mountains. It was just the best thing. And then, of course, from my story, you might remember that I worked at sea for so many years. So for me, the environment has always been a big thing. And only at this time in my life have I realized how important it is to heal the people or the person before they can go on and do what they need to do. And I think you and I have a lot more in common than we thought initially, and both of us with our breast cancer journeys, etc. I think the quote that I mentioned that day when I shared my story about being given the mountain because we can show other people that it can be moved. I think it's a very important factor for us to remember, because that is what keeps us going, right? We've gone through all of these things, and ultimately you need to get the message that there is a bigger purpose for you. So thank you very, very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, Wumi, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so touched by your story. Thank you so much for sharing, Renata. And I love the parts where you gave us the full download of how your life journey has been and all of the countries you've been to, especially sharing with I think Congo about the women and all of that and all the emotions, seeing that people were not even um, face anymore about their problems. They're just accepting it as their as it is, and then how you. I don't know how. I don't know if you're able to do something significant in that particular area when you went, and I just want to know: was there something you dropped in their heart? Did you change their mindset? Were you able to connect them back to life and meaning? Also, thank you so much for telling us that age doesn't matter when it comes to your dream, right? You can do it. You can pick yourself back up even when you have challenges. So that's my question. My question is, were you able to, for all the parts of the world you went to and you saw those things that were happening, were you able to change their mindset? Were you able to add value? Were you able to do, something for them? Thank you.
Oh, wow. I think it changed mindset, take time, and I at that time I didn't know the tools I have today, as a coach. So I was more just in a position to listen
Oh,
and to be there for people and to show my respect. Because one thing that I learned through empathy, it's empathy have a limit, like it's a moment that you cannot put yourself in other shoes because it's too hard. And you just stay there and say, I have no idea where are you now? But I can show my respect and be here and listen to you.
mm,
Because sometimes we can't understand what is the other person that are talking to you are passing through. Like as a nurse, I can tell you that I could work with women with cancer forever, but I would never learn the things I learned as a patient with in myself. So that's why I say the empathy have limits, because how can you explain the pain
mm,
that you are feeling? It's
yeah,
it's very singular, but it's enough when someone say, okay, I hear you, and I'm here for you.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, Susie has a question for you.
Renata, first of all, I want to say thank you for sharing your story. It is very important what you said because we really want to help the people, especially, I want to say, especially in Africa. I'm from Africa and we really want to help the people. But they have so much how can I say, shut down with just sayings that they don't even have the courage to say it anymore. And they just bear with the minimum they have and says, if I can leave and my family can leave, this is the most I can do. Why there are greater opportunities down. And by listening to you today, you open us to the perspective that we cannot give them a hand by giving them the finance or the vision if we have not healed the heart. It is very important And today I want to say thank you for that because we really want to do much for our people. I want to do a lot, but there is something always coming up. The heart is too wounded to be able to even get the project to any space. And having that space, that is where I really brought up the school of purpose, having that space where it can allow you to dream again because the dreams has been shattered, the dreams has been destroyed because of the environment. And thank you so much for bringing this up to this conversation. Now, when I go into the school of purpose, I go to the school of purpose, I can tell them you cannot do the great things if you are not healed. It starts with you and your heart. Go back to that. Find little things that can attract, that can help you dream again. Let it be the cats, because you said you started with the little things. You started dreaming back with your cats that you want to have a life with your cats and your dogs before you even went to a greater version. Like start dreaming with the little things you have around you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And on that, I want to ask you a question to help those in the same states because a lot of people are walking cops. I say that because they walk as if they are alive while inside they are dead because of the situation they have gone through. What can you say to such people going through very, very tough situation that cannot talk about it? Because as you said, empathy has a limit. There's certain things we cannot explain. There's certain things we cannot even have empathy for them. So what can you tell them that can help them to find that little spark again in this situation in which they are? Thank you.
What changed my perspective, because I was like, oh, this is it, when Shane died. Because in my culture, we always hear that we have solution for everything, but for that. And I was like, so there's nothing to fight anymore. He's dead. He's dead. That's over. It's gone. So there's no dream. It's it. And then I realized that I couldn't change the beginning of my story, but I can build a different end. And I think that's, when you see people that are refugees coming with nothing, and just with their dreams, like, because your past, the future is not a continue of your past if you want to change. So I think that's what makes me feel powerful. Like, I don't know how much time I have, because in the end of the day, that's the only thing we have. Everything else, it's like borrowed. But the time is yours, but you don't know up until when you have some time. So what if you treat this time as something really special that you have to really take care? Like, I learned that from Congo, like during the war, and you see people, you just turn on the music and people start dancing. So I like how they can dance in this situation. I think because they say, okay, I have 5 minutes to be happy, so I'm going to be happy for this 5 minutes now. When you start to be grounded in the present moment, like it doesn't matter what happened to you in this moment, it's not happening now. So that's already good. So today I didn't lost my husband.
Ooh,
So today is a new day.
yeah.
So I can be happy today.
Mm, mm,
So I think if we don't get this, we can struggle for the rest of your life. So how long, you're going to take for build yourself again. So I think that's it.
mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful life story. Something that's going to inspire so many people to keep going, keep
Mhm.
breathe.
Yeah. And that's what I heard from my mom during the bad times. She say, another day, Renata, another day, and another more. Yeah.
Absolutely, my dear. All right. Anybody else have a question or a comment for her before? Okay, yes, Jackie, go ahead.
I don't really know what I'm going to say. I'm just kind of overcome by all of it, and totally amazed at what you've gone through, that will be so impactful in the lives of so many people. Of course, my concept is to try to figure out how, and you know the hows. It's really not up to us, yeah, I know. But the point is, what is it that can be done? And um, so many parts of the world that are devastated, such as you speak, and the concept of I don't cry because nobody cares is
Mm,
very heart-wrenching.
mm.
Um, I'll be curious to watch how you actually move to make any of this change. Um, you're in positions of spirit of the game, the planetary health. I suppose your own coaching. Of course, you and I wondered if we really are doing the coaching. We're doing so much everything else. But the point is, somehow, somehow we have to allow them meaning those that have yet to see that they can have a better future, to give them permission to do that, to be open to that. And I think that's probably the biggest gift that we can do is to have them realize that they have permission. Of course, that realizes as well that they have the support around them, that it's safe, that now whatever step is next is safe, and they won't be bullied or criticized because they've given themselves permission. And I think that you've seen that in the indigenous people cultures that you've been in, is that probably is as big a deterrent and challenge. It's cultural protocol. So I guess if there's a question in all of that, as you can see, I'm struggling with this. Is there any path that you can envision will address as many women as possible? Guess that's my question.
Wow, I envision, like I love that we are living in the internet time, that we can connect, like we can come to people's house, just with the a platform like the one we are doing today, that Zoom. So I think this is so powerful. It's very true that maybe the people that need most, they don't have internet yet. But I think we making connections and start to get together and to learn from each other. I think that's how I envision the healing of the planet. Because as the forest and the trees, that they are connected from the soil, and we don't see that. So I think that's the same thing that we should do with people, instead of like the connection being, just for the big organizations or governments, and no ordinary people, how they can connect, like trees in a forest, that we know that they are all connected. So I think this is my idea to build resilience and connect and emotional connection. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Renata, you're an educator. You're somebody that, goes out and shares with many, many people on many different networks of people. And I know your voice will be heard. I know this podcast will go out to many that will need to hear this. That's what I'm declaring, is the people that need to hear this will hear this, will hear your story, and it will make a difference for them. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for, oh my gosh, a heart-wrenching episode today. I'm sharing this everywhere I can share this. Thank you, Renata, for opening your heart up and being willing to share some really vulnerable things today with so many. Thank you. Thank you. And I knew this was not probably going to be an easy one today. And I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared. Thank you, all the hosts, the beautiful questions that were asked. And really, thank you for this team. I love and adore every one of you. You were all handpicked to be here. And I just want you to know I'm so thrilled that we are on this journey together. So thank you. And thank you, everyone. This is our next episode, and it will be going out by 7 o'clock tonight, hopefully with no internet issues. And then guys, please, please, please share this. Please comment. Please subscribe. And please just share it with anybody and everybody that you can share it with. Because those are the people that Renata's going to make a difference for. And we're going to make a difference inside the questions we ask her. So thank you. Thank you once again. Bye, everyone.